We're back. Jon Benjamin.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
It's been a while since I've been in a studio with you.
I know.
Probably the year 2001.
Well, that's when we started doing it.
Maybe, right.
Well, we started it was the best show started in 2000.
Right. You said before the show, 25th anniversary.
It's coming up next year.
I cannot be there. I'm sorry.
No, of course. I wouldn't expect.
I'm on set.
You're busy. You're a very
feature.
busy guy.
Yeah.
Maybe you can shoot something on like a cell phone.
I don't know. It's up to Peter Jackson. Basically, if
you're working with Peter Jackson,
it's just going to depend on the schedule of the movie. I'm in New Zealand a lot now, so
sure. No, I get that.
Yeah.
And what?
I have a house there now, and Peter and I are building that.
Oh, you live in New Zealand now?
Well, I don't technically live in New Zealand. I'm just shooting there so much.
Okay. Is that like a real hotspot for filmmaking?
Well, Peter likes to shoot there, and I'll go where the work is.
Sure, you can say that again.
Yeah, I mean, You came here.
Yeah. No, I came to Lipstick City because this is where all the jobs are.
Lipstick City.
Yeah, that's what it's called out here.
Is that Hollywood? No, L.A. or North Hollywood?
L.A. It's Lipstick City. Do you know who coined that phrase? Jim Rome.
Jim Rome, the sport.
Yes, he said, "All right, we're Lipstick City.
That's not
broadcasting live from Lipstick City." Lipstick City.
I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
women wear lipstick here.
Sure, but there also would be probably a city that had like a lipstick factory might claim their Lipstick City,
right?
A little more than
where yes,
a city where people
the
wear
factory
makeup.
Town that makes Maybelline.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
they might somebody in like
Akron.
They're furious at the idea that LA is calling itself Lipstick City. Yeah, we make tires and lipstick.
Well, there's a sister city out there somewhere to LA that's Lipstick City.
Now, what's the funny thing? Everybody has been saying, I was like, because it's almost the anniversary of the Yankees versus Mets.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was October.
Are people saying that?
Yeah, multiple people.
Is that available? Like, can you hear that?
You can get it on. It's on the
dark web.
It's on the light web too. It's on all the webs. I
figured you would have put like certain episodes and just destroyed them, like the Nixon tapes or something. Like, get rid of.
John, there's a point where I was just like, I'm just going to let all of it ride. It's like Schenectady, honestly, New York with me now at this point. I'm building a thing that my whole life is on this thing. And I never set out. I thought I was going to do some shows for a few months. And then
your life.
And then suddenly I turn around.
24 years later.
Yeah, 24 years later, I'm still doing the thing.
Well, it was a radio show.
It was a radio show. But it was just like, I just wanted to do stuff that I thought was funny.
Yes.
And that was literally, if somebody would have put a contract in front of me and say, like, you sign this thing, you do 25 years of the show, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. Why would I do that?
Well, yeah, it's true. And then we just did a version of what we
did from 24 years ago.
Yeah,
that was
made people listen to me play the same song five times. Limo ride five times in a row. It's not unlike it. Yankees versus Mets, as I remember, was like an hour and a half. Like it was like
It was you and Matt Walsh arguing
about. I was a Mets fan. He was a Yankees fan,
and
vice versa.
Neither of you are Mets or Yankee fans.
Oh, right. That was the bit.
Well, I mean, it's funny that like.
Oh, we weren't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Neither of you care about either team.
No,
but you were pretending because they were in the World Series at that point, and
that was the Subway
Series. Yes. 2000 before it all ended.
Yes, Y2K. Yeah. It started it all.
Yeah. Now,
the beginning of the end.
Yeah. It is so funny that was like the early part of the show. And then it's just like, where did all the time go?
Well, you morphed the show a little bit. It changed.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got video now as a part of it too,
Right.
so that's a big part. It's in LA, and I can
Worcester is still always a part of it.
Yeah, John's always here, and I mean, he's in North Carolina, but he's always a part of it. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a lot of the same things, but we do new things and throw things out. And yeah, at one point, the show was almost turning into like a puppet show. At one point, I had multiple puppets for a while. Yeah,
that's true. I didn't know.
Yeah. No, it's just like it just turns into different things that are interesting at that.
What were the puppets?
Oh, it's Gary the squirrel. Gary comes back. Gary does a talk show.
Were you doing?
It's me? Yeah.
You were playing Gary the squirrel.
Yeah. I get under the table. It's like watching Robert Smigel do all the Triumph stuff when he's like, "Oh, my knees." That's why I was just like, I can't do that. I can't make that my thing. He's just like watching him under a table.
So yes, for crouching.
Yeah. One of the funniest things I ever saw was when he did that sitcom. Can we put the air on in here, please? Also, when he did that sitcom with Jack McBrayer on Adult Swim.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And
didn't you work on that?
I did work on it for a little bit.
I feel like I saw you then.
Yeah. It was
in the
me.
street.
Yeah.
You were like having a nervous breakdown.
I was having a nervous break. One of my many.
Yeah.
It was him and it was him doing Triumph. Jack McBrayer was
right.
And then the other cast member was June Squibb, who's like deep into her 80s at this point. So it's the world's most immobile sitcom. It's a guy behind a couch
Can't move.
and an octogenarian, and Jack McBrayer has to do all the moving for the whole thing.
What is the premise? They were roommates.
Yeah, I think they were old pals who moved back in or something. I don't know.
With their mom or grandmother. Or...
Honestly, I don't know.
You worked on it.
I don't know what it was.
All right.
I mean, could you tell me about things you've worked on?
No,
of course not.
I did a live show the other night where somebody showed me an ad. I had no recollection of doing it. And it was with like Paul Rudd and I didn't know. I couldn't remember at all.
You're not supposed to, though. That's the other thing.
Right, but that was like scary because I was like, I was in it. I saw myself in that, and I couldn't remember when or where it was or what.
No, there's parts of it that get troubling when suddenly I'll be like...
No recollection.
Yeah. Like, wait, did I do... I think I did. Did I? And you're just not exactly sure. Like, that part's troubling, but you're also not supposed to be your biggest fan either and be just like talking about your stuff all the time.
Right.
Like if you're talking about when I was on Sex in the City, I was...
I do talk about that a lot.
You do? Because you were...
Yeah.
I remember you were as like a baseball game.
Yep. One scene. I was cast as the previously as the politician character.
Okay.
So I was cast by who was the guy?
Darren Star?
Well, it wasn't Darren Star. Darren Star fired
Michael Patrick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was a nice man.
Yeah.
He was the comedy guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he cast me without, I guess, approval.
Well, when you say the politician guy, which guy are you?
I'm going to think of the actor was John Slattery.
Okay.
So he played that. That was a big role.
Yeah.
So I think my first scene was a date.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the trajectory of that character was they go on to have sex and he pees on her or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even an actor then. Arguably, but very nervous about doing that.
Uh-huh.
And I had hair then.
Okay.
And they balded me and aged me.
So you're going through.
So they made me look like I was like 55.
And it never works with that makeup also.
Darren Star walked in and was like, what the fuck is this? Like, who is this? And Michael Patrick King had to be like, we'll step outside. Like, sorry, we'll be right back. Then Michael Patrick King came back in the trailer and was like, John, you're not playing the role.
So the guy in the baseball game.
So I would have been in Mad Men.
Sure, you would have been at that point. You would have been Mad Men. You would have been in.
Yes, like you had
the Marvel movies. I think he was. You would have had the whole.
Yep, and then I got like a booby prize.
Sure,
with
but then
the scene on the softball field.
Then John Slattery would have been
Like
in the booth.
Voiceover guy.
Yeah, he would have been doing Bob's Burgers.
He would have been the spokesperson for Arby's.
Yeah, there we go. Right there as a young.
Yep, there was
young.
Yeah,
that shirt.
So I had hair. Yeah, there's the hair. It's receding clearly. But they balded me and put like old like crow's feet, and
like little big man, like the like the Dustin Hoffman thing where they make him 100.
Not that old.
Okay,
but I was like 32 there.
Sure,
and they made me look 55.
Now
Now Jon Slattery is probably younger than me.
Yeah,
in real, but he had gray hair even then.
Isn't that stuff troubling when suddenly you realize like Ted Cruz is younger than both of us? Like this guy who seems like old, and you're just like, he's younger.
Yeah.
Some of the most fun I've ever had with any kind of comedy stuff was the stuff that you and a few other people did at on Monday nights at Eating It.
Yep.
Was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just like it was just like you just did the most punishing things.
Yeah.
The all-time greatest one was Get Hyped.
Get Hyped. Yeah. Get Hyped with Glazer and
it was four of you. It wasn't Sam, was it? No.
It might have been Sam.
It might have been you, John Glazer, Sam, and one other person.
Yep. I don't remember who else was in it. I know it was Glazer.
And basically, Get Hyped for anybody who wasn't there. For
the millions of people who weren't there. There was a room of maybe 50 people, right?
It was the four of you came in. It was a Monday night comedy show in the downtown, and it was it'd be stand-ups and there'd be other kinds of conceptual like stuff would happen, and Soy Bomb was always there.
Initially, I think it's like the ethos was like don't do your act.
Yeah, go up and do new things.
That's why it was called Eating It or something, right? You can't do your typical.
Yeah,
act.
You're not going up and doing your material.
You got to do experimental, which never was really the case.
No, because you'd always see people start talking about. So he starts.
Comic Mark Maron starts bombing, and he'll just go back to his regular act.
Well, actually, I would say Mark was like maybe the only person that didn't.
Yeah, that's probably
Mark
true.
Would like revel in. Mark was there every Monday night.
He was. Well, he was I think the original host.
Yeah.
Of the precursor of that show, which was at a different venue.
Okay.
And I think Maron was that was like it was just him, and he hosted every show.
Because he would go up and he'd be like, I just signed an overall deal for the thing, and then he's like, it's a good time. And then 5 weeks later, it's like, well, that didn't work. And then it's just like you were like tracking his reality.
Yes, he's just talking about
he's giving you these updates on where he's at in his career and his life. Well, I'm getting divorced again.
Yeah.
And like
every is like was a first date for the audience.
Yes,
with Mark Maron.
But you guys went up and did this thing, Get Hyped. It was, first of all, it was four guys dressed in
I feel like
leotard, kind of like.
Yeah, probably like the male cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Right?
And it was yeah.
Get ready for this.
Yeah, get ready for this. No. And it was like, get hyped, get hyped, get hyped.
Yeah.
And then the song goes, it ends, and it's like, and you went up last, of course, because you were running. And then seemed like it was a challenge. You guys were not going to stop until no one was in the room.
Yeah.
And it went
until people started figuring out, they're not going to stop.
And once they realize they're not going to stop,
right? Some
people just start leaving. Other people are like, I'll take this challenge and I'll see how long they'll keep going. You kept going.
We did a version of that bit, probably like tens of those bits, right? Where we'd walk the room.
Yeah, just driving everybody, pushing everybody to the limit. Those were just some of the most fun
That was really, because that was probably 40 minutes of Get Hyped.
Yeah. And do you remember you and I were talking about writing a Get Hyped movie at one point? And we worked on it. I just remember we didn't get very far. Right. Big shocker with it.
We had to do character development for each character.
I don't think the characters had names ever. Right. But we met a few times and talked about it.
Would have been our Zoolander.
Yes. It was one of the funniest things I've ever gotten to be like, it was like we came up with this thing where this rich guy had an island and he flew in the cast of MASH and hunted them for sport. And it was like the cast of MASH were running through the jungle.
We would have to hire the cast of
Jamie
MASH.
Farr.
Why was that part
it
of
was
Get
just
Hyped?
the funniest. It was like I don't think we ever got past that. It was like Loretta Swit and Jamie Farr running for their lives as guys in jeeps with guns are running after them.
I don't remember, and I don't know how that would in any way.
No, that was
serves Get Hyped.
And then it was just that point where it's like, I don't think we're writing this Get Hyped movie. It's just one of those ideas that slowly, it's just like, we're not talking about the Get Hyped thing anymore.
Well, I know we tried to work on a voiceover superhero.
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah.
I remember that.
There was.
Like in Jersey.
Yeah.
No, that was like a bit we did on your show, right? Or it came from that. Where I played a voiceover guy who
you're going to be in the booth, and you're going to
home studio.
Exactly. You're going to do every type of.
Your sound was never appropriate for me.
Well, that was where Glazer was the engineer, and I think he kept going. Okay, let's get the level here. We got it right.
The testing, and that was the mic.
And you were doing your
doing my low voice,
your lowest one,
the low voice,
like sibilance.
Yeah, sibilance, right.
Like that.
Right.
Yeah. No, those were.
Right, Steve, I'm not getting. I need a little more in the headset.
That would just another thing that started on the best show back then was the Majority Report.
Yes,
where Sam Cedar, legendary liberal broadcaster, Sam Cedar, wildly successful.
Yep,
has no time for guys like me anymore.
Oh, come on!
No, I'm kidding. I just look, that's my thing. John Hodgman said,
I didn't mean to get in the way.
John Hodgman said, "You're aggrieved." But Sam was like, I want to get it. At that point, pre-podcasting, it was like gold to be able to broadcast anywhere. Like, if you think about it,
right? I
had a radio studio,
right?
WFMU. I had this studio was mine to do what I wanted for 3 hours. That's like invaluable.
It really was. Yeah. That's what I was telling Zach before. Like how
that's like lost now.
Yeah, gone.
The idea that
everybody can do it, right?
Which is great because it doesn't mean there are gatekeepers, but then it just means every awful person just needs to go to Guitar Center, and then they are equal to anyone else.
Yeah.
With this, if they go into Guitar Center with $200 and they get one audio program on their laptop, Sam did a test version of the Majority Report.
You were like the Lorne Michaels of.
Oh yeah,
you've spawned all like the original podcasters.
Yes, thank you. Did you see the Saturday Night Live movie?
No, not yet.
Oh my God.
No, really.
I loved it. I don't hate watch a whole lot of stuff anymore. Like there's not a lot of time for that. But I will watch that again.
I mean, I'm going to go see Megalopolis.
Yeah,
Megalopolis.
I still haven't seen Megalopolis yet.
Yeah. I'll see that before Saturday night.
It's like a good time it's Megalopolis, Saturday night, and the Joker movie. It's like this weird time of like these planes flying from the sky.
Bombs.
Yeah, these planes crashing.
Yeah.